Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Isles with High Impact Outcomes, and today I'm going to share with you some tips on getting started in real estate. These will give you number one, they'll give you direction. Number two, they're going to save you time. And number three, they're going to make you look more professional. In the military, you hear the term, or in business, you might hear the term SOP. SOP, it means standard operating procedure, or really it's a set of step-by-step instructions for you to follow. That's what I'm going to go through with you today. So when our agent sends you a property or you find a property, what steps do you need to take and what order? So agent has sent you a property. What do you do now? Well, the first thing I'm going to walk you through the three steps. So number one, read the agent remarks. Right. There's going to give you key information in there that you're going to want to pay attention to. Maybe it's in a historic district. Maybe it's a tear down. They don't give you 10 days due diligence. Maybe it's an auction property or a mobile home. Whatever. See how we can get this intel right there? Maybe it's only open for owner occupied people for the first X amount of days. Maybe it's combined with 5 other properties you got to buy. Well, why evaluate the property? Why look through the photos? Why do any of those steps without reading the agent remarks? So like I said, whether you find it yourself or an agent sent you the property, you can read the agent remarks. That's step one. Step two, now you look through the photos. So look through all the photos, all of them. Yes, if there's only one photo, guess what? You just look through that one and that's it. Not much to do there. If there's 40 photos, look through them all. Maybe there's something when you get to the backyard that's going to scare you off. Maybe when you get to the basement, you might see that the wall's fallen in and it needs structural problems, massive foundation problems, and you don't want to deal with that. Number three is what you're going to want to do is go to Google Maps or do Street View. So I like to, if I'm using Redfin or Zillow or Trulia or Movoto, realtor.com, they usually have a Street View option that you can just click on right there, and you can do a 360-degree view to look at your neighbors. What if it's commercial properties? What if every house in that neighborhood's all boarded up? What if, like I said, what commercial are you next to? Is it a liquor store or a grocery store or a junkyard? Those are very important things. What if the road it's on is a massive busy road and that's really going to hurt your resale value? So pay attention to those. Sometimes that alone just kills the deal. So those three things are the first things you should look at. Don't ask your realtor for comps. Don't bother going through those steps unless you do these three first. Now you have direction what to do. It's going to save you a lot of time because you're not chasing down properties you shouldn't have just by reading this, looking through the photos, do the 360-degree view, and you're going to look more credible with your realtors as you deal with them and work with them because you're not sending them on a wild goose chase to send you, give you information on a property that you're not even interested in. Let's go live, and here I'm on Redfin, and I want to find a property. So whether you use Redfin, Zillow, or Trulia, let me show you what I mean by those three steps. So step one, right? Agent sends you a property. I'm just going to find one, or you find it yourself. Here's one for 30,000. Let's click on it, and we're going to do the three steps. So step one says read the agent remarks. So handyman special located in Alabama opportunity zone. So opportunity zones, what that means is they'll have opportunity zones in almost every major city, and it's to help revitalize areas that maybe they're lower income, so they need to they want to get people investing there to help revitalize it, to regentrify it, bring it back up. So it's really great on some tax benefits if you're owning it long term. If you're doing a fix and flip, not so much, but if you're doing longer term cash flow properties, those can be good areas to look into. So pay close attention to that. What else does it say? It says level lot, close to interstates, UAB, 6th Avenue, yada, yada. Great investment property. Now, we can't just take their word of that and say, oh, they said great investment property. It must be a great investment property. It's important to know the knowledge yourself. All on one level, flat yard, sold as is condition, needs work. Okay, so nothing there scares me away. So that's step one. Step two is look through the photos. Well, guess what? There's no photos. So when there's no photos, right, then we'd skip to step three because this is all we have. Step three is come over here on Street View and do a 360-degree view. So what I'll do here is this will, if you click these will drive you up and down the street. I'm not looking to do that. I want to do the 360. So left click over here, drag your mouse around. When you first do this, it's a little tricky. So left click, drag, look at the street, right? Look at the houses. Look at across the way. I've not seen anything scary, bad, anything that's going to say run. We're not next to commercial, anything like that. From what I can see on just this street, it could be stuff behind us, but see what we're doing. We're eliminating our risk, mitigating it. We have some off-street parking here, and our house looks like the worst one on the neighborhood in the neighborhood. That's what we like. We can do a lot of value add. So if you're doing the Burr method or trying to buy rentals to fix up and really add value in it, so you can pull your equity out, here's a great avenue to do it. Potentially a good avenue. And if you're doing a fix and flip, again, not a bad one to have the worst house on the neighborhood, the block, so we can fix it up and do that forced depreciation, forced value, forced equity. So that's step 1, 2, 3. Let me find a different one because this one didn't have photos. If I come right back here and grab, this one looks pretty nice on the outside, doesn't it? It looks like it doesn't need a whole lot of work, but look at the yellow caution tape. What does that say? So let's look here. Investors, sellers, so investors, seller's loss is your gain. Tornado, severely damaged rear of home, making this the perfect candidate for a rehab and addition of a master suite. Bring your contractor and check it out. Prior rent was $925. Again, some great data for renting it out. Look at the price, $37.9, depending on the rehab. Great comps all around. East Lake continues its rise as the next hot neighborhood. Agent has ownership interest in the property. Okay, so again, what can scare us there is the tornado severely damaged. So let's look at the photos and see. Okay, that's probably why it's taped off. There's some structural stuff on the inside, and there you go. You can see the tree, the tornado came through. Maybe you don't want to invest in tornado areas, and this would, you'd find out right away. Yeah, you see the wall over here. You see some sheetrock on the floor. The bathroom, it's already been remodeled somewhat. There we go. Wow, look at that damage. Pretty insane, isn't it? Yep. Now, if you're a first-time investor, you're probably not going to want to tackle something this big. I wouldn't advise you to do that either. If you're a more seasoned one, this may not be a bad one to do. And look at that. Wow, you can see the tarp up top. The water damage is probably going to look a lot worse than what it did in these photos because how long has the tarp been on top? Now, or kind of been on top. You can see all the particle board and see how important the photos are. So there we go. You went through all the photos, and the last thing I say to do is click Street View. You can also click here and do the 360-degree view. There's the house. It looks a lot different in whenever we go to Google Maps or we're doing a Street View, because this is an older picture versus if I come back over here, look at the house now. Right, it's all blue painted versus the old brown and stuff. But you can tell it's the same one by the rock columns. The other option you can do, let me go here, is we can go to Google Maps. Sometimes I've had it where I click Street View and it doesn't take you to the property. I just copy the address, go to Google Maps, place it in here, hit the magnifying glass to search, and it gives us kind of a bird's eye view first of all. Right, so we can kind of mess around. I can zoom in here. Here's the house. It doesn't look like there's anything really behind it. You can do satellite view too if you want to at the bottom of the map, and all the trees. The view I wanted to have you do is what? The street view. So you just click on the photo underneath it, and now it takes us to the street view. So there you go. And again, do the 360. So left click, drag, left click, drag. You can look around the neighborhood, look down the street. Nothing scary, nothing bad. The only thing is the tornado. Do we want to deal with that, number one? And if you're a new investor, you probably don't want to deal with something that's structural, not starting off. Get some tread on your tires before you tackle some of these big scope of work projects. You know, that's my tip, because I'm going to try to keep you as safe as possible. And it's easier to do a $40,000 rehab than a $110,000 rehab. So do those three things. Anything else we can do, let us know. We're here to help. If this video has been helpful, please hit the like button or subscribe. Do both. Leave a comment down below. And if there's any topics you want us to share, cover, or questions about these, or some more steps that you think I should add, let me know.